Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be eating like a celebrity, so we'll see how this goes. So today we're gonna be eating like Senada Greca. If you've seen her on social media at all, you know that she has like this incredible machine of a body. Do I think I will ever get to that point? No. But do I think some of her recipes look pretty good? Yeah, so we're gonna try them. So today I'm actually gonna be making four different recipes that she shows on her Instagram account. And we're gonna start off with breakfast. Honestly, I've had this one before. I know it's gonna be good. She does a lot of stuff with eggs for breakfast. Egg bites, egg casseroles, egg quiche. I'm gonna make an egg casserole with the ingredients that I have. I also just wanna say there's really nothing wrong necessarily with the way anyone eats. I like to try different things. I like to kind of change it up. And so for the past 2 weeks, I've really wanted to clean up my diet and just feel a little bit better and walk a little bit more. So I've increased protein, increased fiber, and quite frankly, over the past 2 weeks, I have felt so much better. So it's worked out really, really well. All right, so I have 8 eggs here. I'm gonna crack these. I did preheat the oven to 375. I have to admit, I'm like crazy happy. My family gets eggs from like a friend, and their chickens had stopped laying eggs, and I don't know what they do differently, but their eggs are literally the best eggs ever. But I literally have like 6 dozen eggs in my fridge right now, so I'm definitely trying to use them up. Okay, so now I'm gonna just add some salt and pepper. And then she adds like half a cup of cottage cheese. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Now I think the cottage cheese adds like a really good flavor to the eggs. I've started doing this anytime I cook eggs, I try to add cottage cheese, but it also adds a good bit of protein and calcium to whatever you're making. So I just wanna show you how bright of an orange these eggs are. They're just amazing. Okay, next I need to, my zucchini was going bad, so I had to like kind of make it do this to it. So I'm gonna shred it really quickly. Now I'm gonna take a paper towel and try to squeeze a little bit of the water out, just because I don't want this to turn into like egg soup, kind of like my lasagna did. Now while I squeeze some of this water out, she does like mushrooms and peppers and onions, and you can really do anything that you want when you add it in here. This is just what I like. So I'm gonna mix this. And then I have some chicken sausage patties. I'm just gonna cut these up and throw them in there for some added protein and taste. It's so much easier to cut frozen meat. Smell good. And I actually get these from my local farmer's market. I'm telling you, if you haven't checked out your local farmer's market, it is the place to go. Decent prices. Well, mine is decent prices. I don't know about everyone's farmer's market. Okay. I've sprayed my pan. I'm just gonna pour this in and bake it for, I think I'm gonna start with 40 minutes and then see how it's doing. Definitely wanna get everything kind of mixed up. There we go. All right, into the oven. After about 40 minutes, it was done. So I just pulled it out, cut it into 4s, and that's what I had for my breakfast. It turned out delicious, as I thought it would. So that was breakfast, and then I usually take my supplements at the same time. Okay, so I just got back from the gym, and I'm gonna do like this Greek cucumber boat type thing with grilled chicken. It looks pretty good. Like I said, I'm taking a little bit of liberty with the recipe, not doing it exactly. I'm kind of doing a combination of some of the recipes that I've seen and doing stuff like that I like. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with this, and I'm just going to prep my cucumber. So the tzatziki that I'm using is actually one that my friend gets from a Greek like restaurant supply place. It is so good. It is literally the best tzatziki I've ever had in my life. And she got it for my birthday, so I have a huge tub of it. Thank you. You know who you are if you're watching. But if you find this brand near you, try it. All right, so I'm gonna scoop the inside out to make like a boat, and I'm gonna eat it. I am not wasting the cucumber. I love cucumbers so much. So I'm just gonna sit this to the side and eat it separately. All right, that looks like a pretty good boat. So we'll set that here. Go ahead and do the other one. Oh, and a little trick, if it's like wobbling, you can technically like cut the back side of it if you want, and it just creates like a little flat surface so that it will not rock. I mean, you just have to cut off like a teeny tiny bit. See how it's kind of leaning? Take it, just cut the smallest piece out. Boom. No more rocking. So we'll sit that there and we will do the actual dip that's going inside of it. So our sprouts, we just got a sprouts and it's so nice, but they actually do like kind of cut chicken. I love it because it makes life so much easier for me. So I'm just gonna take some of this pre-pulled rotisserie chicken. So we're just gonna chop this up a little bit. I'm gonna cut my tomatoes up. I'm gonna do these kind of small, I think, since I'm putting them in the cucumber. Tomatoes can be so hard to dice. And then I'm gonna add some of the tzatziki. And you can make your own tzatziki if you want. It's not super difficult. Like I said, I just think this is the best I've pretty much ever had. A good dollop of that. All right, and I'm just gonna mix this up. You know, I think I'm gonna add the cucumber into this. So that's our inside, and then we'll just scoop it into the little boat. And here we go. This is what I'm gonna have for lunch really quickly. Looks pretty good. Really good. Okay, so it's been about 3 hours and it's gonna be about 2 hours before I get to eat dinner. And I'm actually pretty hungry. So even though that meal was delicious, I don't think that it like necessarily held me over till dinner. Or maybe it's just normal snack time. Now breakfast, I was like full. I didn't even really want to eat lunch, to be totally honest with you. I was pretty full from that, but I am pretty hungry now. So I'm gonna do a quick protein shake. I just used 2 scoops of Paleo Valley. I'll show it to you. And then I just added water in a mason jar with one of my lids, super easy. And then I might do like half of an apple or something like that. Just depends on what I have in my fridge. So yeah, gonna do that. Even though that's not one of the meals that I've seen on her thing, I'm still hungry. So that's what I'm gonna do. And if you do decide to do the Paleo Valley, it does separate like this. You just have to keep shaking it. And I always wait like 5 minutes so that the collagen powder kind of dissolves better in the water. But it does separate. I don't find that it, you know, really tastes gross, but I just shake it and then drink it. But I did want to point that out at least. And I added just a dollop of yogurt to dip my apples in, just so it's not plain apples. Okay, so before I start dinner, I'm gonna make the dessert. And she does like this yogurt, frozen yogurt thing that she puts in the freezer. I am using the birthday cake whey protein by Legion. It's my favorite when it comes to like desserts, like if you're adding it to frozen yogurt, if you're putting it in different things like that. I just think it has such a great taste. Bought it with my own money. I actually just got some more of it, but it's pretty good. And it tastes pretty good if you're just drinking it by itself, but I use the collagen when I'm just drinking it by itself. But this is what I use when I'm doing desserts usually. All right, so about a cup of yogurt. I'm gonna put that protein powder in there and just mix this up and taste it. Very birthday cake. And then I'm just gonna pour it onto a parchment lined plate. Tastes pretty good. And then just spread it out in a circle. The birthday cake protein powder is so good. Honestly, it tastes like, do you remember the lip gloss that everyone had when they were like young that tasted like birthday cake? That's kind of what this protein powder tastes like. If you know, you know. Then I'm gonna take some of these walnuts and top it with that and top with some strawberries. And then this is just gonna go in the freezer until we're ready to eat it. Now it's time to cook the pasta. And it says to do like a tablespoon of oil. I'm just eyeballing her. And then put the garlic in and let that cook for like 30 seconds, just to let it like develop flavor. And now you want to add your pasta, which I think was 8 ounces. I think it was 8 ounces. And you just want to coat the pasta with the oil. And this is protein pasta. It's the chickpea banza. And then you're gonna add 16 ounces of a chicken bone broth. This is just one that my mom canned, so I'm using that. Then I'm just gonna bring this to a simmer and then let it cook for, I guess, until the pasta absorbs the broth. And that is a tip if you're trying to add more protein, like chicken bone broth or beef bone broth actually has a good amount of protein in it. So you can use it like to cook your rice, or you can use it to cook like pasta, and it will add a significant amount of protein to it. Well, not significant, but some. Okay, so it says to stir occasionally. I have been stirring like every 2 minutes so that it won't stick to the pot, because that is a goal of mine, to not have stuff stick to the pot as badly. So we're getting close to it being absorbed. All right, we're pretty close. So I'm gonna go ahead and salt and pepper it. It just says salt and pepper to taste. So I'm just gonna eyeball it, I guess. And I actually did turn the heat down, but it is still pretty warm. I'm gonna move it back for just a minute off the heat. All right, then it says to add 50 grams of butter, which seems like a lot, but that's what it says to do. So that's what we're doing. And then it says 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. She did fresh. I had this in the freezer, so using what we have. And then it said a cup of grated Parmesan. I had almost a cup of Parmesan, but I added some mozzarella in here too. I would think that's about a cup. We can add more if we want. And then the recipe didn't even say when to add the chicken, but I feel like, actually, I may stir it and let the butter melt, and then we might add the chicken. Looks good. I feel like it's making like an Alfredo-esque. Does seem like a lot of butter though. All right, like I said, it did not say when to add the chicken, but this is when we're gonna go ahead and add it. And that's just some rotisserie chicken. It was out of focus the whole time, wasn't it? Sorry. Okay, so this is finished. I'm gonna taste it super fast. See, like 1, is it even remotely good? And then 2, if we need to add any more cheese or salt or pepper. A little piece of pasta, a little piece of chicken. That's super good. It does need more salt and pepper, and I think, oh, I was supposed to do red pepper flakes. I'll look. We'll add some red pepper flakes. So I do think it would add. And I might put a little Italian seasoning in it, but pretty good actually. So you may find this funny that my spices are in Ziploc bags right now because my sister knocked over our new rolly cart and broke all our spices in spice jars. So I had to, my mom buys it in bulk, so I got some of it, but we're using these until new classes come in. I'll insert a picture because it was hysterical. A few red pepper flakes. I don't love mine too spicy, so we're not doing crazy. A little Italian seasoning. I actually don't think it needs any more cheese, so I think we're good. So this is how she does it. However, one thing I'm gonna add is a little bit of spinach, just because we like to put spinach in our pasta dishes and you really can't tell. So I'm just gonna cut a little bit up and put it in here and let it cook down before we eat. Just for some added, greens, because there's no greens, no veggies in here. Well, I guess the chickpeas is like, well, that's a carb, like a starchy carb, but yeah. We're gonna put some spinach in here. Now, when I cut the spinach, I usually cut it in like ribbons because it just cooks down in the pasta a little bit better. We like it small. Just gonna let that cook down for just a few minutes and then it'll be time to eat. Overall, this ended up being a pretty good day of eating. I have to give her props that all of her recipes that I tried were delicious, and then to have this frozen yogurt at the end of the day was great. Now, it was a little bit hard to get off the plate. I ended up getting a knife and cutting it. I probably could have just let it sit for, 5 minutes to thaw out a little bit. But overall, A+ to all of her recipes.